Okay, so quick one. I've got a Spektrum 3200 kV motor here, and I completely failed the front bearing. Didn't realize that it was dying and seizing, and then it completely fell apart when I took it out. So I took the commutator out. So the rest of the bearing is in here, but you can't get anything on it. If you look at the how-tos online, people just put something through here, a tool just through here, and punch the bearing out, but there's nothing to punch out. As you probably can't see, I've got the back of the cap on at the bottom for support, but it's gone completely. Anyway, I think the best way to do this is, I've seen people glue a bolt to the bearing with JB Weld and then try and pull it out that way, but you're kind of working against yourself to do that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to punch and drill two little holes on 180 degrees apart, and then just fill them later, but I'm going to punch something through those holes to knock the bearing race out, or what's left of it. We'll see how that works. Alright, so it's a bit ugly, but I've drilled a 2.5mm hole here and a 2.5mm hole here. It's hard to stop just in time. So I've got a 2mm Allen wrench here. I'm just going to see if I can knock that remaining bearing material out. Alright, so I did get it out, but I had to make a bit of a mess. I missed it with the first two inner holes. This hole that I drilled slightly further out, about 1mm further out, was just on the edge of the bearing. This one I drilled ended up having to elongate the hole, but I was able to knock out the rest of the race. It was really in there. What a pain in the butt. So now I'm probably going to have to clean this up, and I'll fill those holes with JB Weld. Then I'll, so it looks like from the inside. I'll have to refill those and then reseat a new bearing in it, and I'll see what happens. Wish me luck. Okay, so I've cleaned up the holes with a larger drill bit just to sort of address any protrusions. I've cleaned up the inside as best I can without damaging anything. That just looks like one big chunky thick plate on the end, which I guess needs to give a lot of support for the torque of the motor. Hopefully I haven't mucked that up too much. Probably have, but see what happens anyway. I'm just going to fill this with some JB Weld. Make sure you mix it up on something that you are probably going to regret mixing it up on later. Okay, so I've filled in the holes with JB Weld. I've smoothed them out on the inside with the spatula. They're pretty smooth. I've just got one little burr that I probably just need to die grind back. And then I'll sand this smooth on the front and try and reinstall the bearings when they arrive tomorrow. All in all, I guess this is a pretty giant pain in the butt. Having destroyed a motor, basically doing it this way, I would probably drill the holes out slightly wider than I did. Maybe just one hole would be enough to dislodge the race. It's only at most 2mm thick, I would say. So you don't need to drill a hole any bigger than that. You've just got to make sure you're accurate when you drill. You could push something through just to knock that out. You can see where there's actually an indentation where the drill bit was running against it. So I had the hole in the right spot, that last one I drilled, but it was just quite hard to actually get through. And then I was able to punch it out relatively easily, but it was in there pretty good. Yeah, if I had to do a second one, I could probably do it with one hole and not make a big mess like I did this time, but I guess you live and learn. I'll see how I go.